Mic check 1 2, it's the Y2K collector, and I didn't know this, but did you know that yesterday was National Video Game Day? I didn't even realize that video games now had their own separate holiday. But yes, this is true. Video games now have, I don't know if it's now that they have it or if they've had it for a long time, but it looks like there is a holiday that is specifically dedicated just to video games. And so I know I'm a day late, but I wanted to send a big happy belated National Video Game Day to all of these subscribers and to anyone who has a retro game collection. And as you can see, I've been doing some rearranging of the game room, and I've actually moved all of my games into one section of the game room. So I always said that I didn't want to have a video game collection that took up more than 10% of any given room. And so this is where I'm at with my current collection. It pretty much is made up of 4 shelves, the bulk of which are small. These are small shelves, especially the shelf that I have for a lot of my DS, 3DS, Vita stuff. As you can see down there, I've got some action figures. I do have a few action figures in my collection. The Streets of Rage 4 Axel, E Honda, and then over there I've got Sagat and Zangief, and then I do have Ryu up there as well. So I've got a few action figures, but this is the shelf that I keep all of the DS, 3DS stuff. I do have my import Sega Saturn complete in box back there with a couple of OEM old school wireless remotes. Yes, those are infrared remotes, not Bluetooth. I think that most technology for the remotes we use today are Bluetooth. These are actually infrared, so that's a little bit more old school. And then I moved my shelf that had all of my really retro stuff. So this is all of my 80s and 90s stuff for all of you lovers of retro. This is where all of the NES and SNES and even my Sega Genesis stuff, and then some Nintendo 64. This is where a lot of the cartridge-based stuff sits. I got a couple systems in here, Sega CD, a couple PS4s, of course, and then down there is where I have my complete in-box OLED Switch, a boxed copy of Magician Lord, some PSP stuff. This is where I have a few of my minis as well. My favorite mini, the TurboGrafx mini, is down there as well. And then I've got a few handhelds, original Game Boy. I used to have a lot of handhelds. I had 3 different Game Boy colors. I had a few different DSs, a few different 3DS XLs, and it was just stupid. I had 2 Advanced SPs. I wound up selling a bunch of my handhelds that I just didn't really need. Just was no need for it. It just kept the ones that I wanted to have. So glad to have that, or have kept that. Over here you've got some special edition Switch stuff, of course. Sorry about that. I have my brand new boxed Nintendo GameCube over there in that corner. Some of the favorite parts of my collection are over here. Some original Game Boy and Game Boy Color stuff. I've got my small but mighty Sega CD collection, along with my my North American Sega Saturn collection. A lot of people go for a complete Sega Saturn collection, but in my opinion, the Saturn had a lot more trash on it than it did treasure. If you want to collect for the Saturn just for the sake of having the long boxes, or just for the sake of completing the library, that's great. But for me, the Saturn didn't have that many amazing games. I could probably count on both hands and both feet how many games I would be willing, probably less, maybe on 2 hands, how many games I would feel like I really need for the Saturn. But that's why it's that small. And then kind of the same thing with the Sega CD. It is great, but there's really a small number of games that for me, fit my taste for Sega CD games. of course, this is where you've got the GameCube action. Some of my favorite titles in there: Ikaruga, Wario World, Chaos Field, Sonic Gems. Those are some of my faves. And then, of course, the most nostalgic, Star Fox Adventure. So some good stuff there. I've got the analog Pocket in that corner, as well as my Neo Geo Pocket, brand new, complete in-box copy of Last Resort, along with a complete copy of Philsoma. And then, of course, on this shelf, this is where I've got a ton of just stuff. Up here, some special edition Switch stuff, of course, the Super Nintendo wireless Switch controller, River City Girl Zero. I gotta put that Nintendo Mini manual back in its box. Another beloved part of my collection, which is my Small But Mighty PS1 collection, along with my Small But Mighty Dreamcast collection. And then a part of my collection that I really love, my import Saturn collection. These are some of my favorite games in my collection. Then I have the PS3 stuff over here. This is the Small But Mighty Xbox 360 collection. Some more PS3 stuff. Back here being blocked by all these games are my PS2, the PS2 stuff that you can see back there. A bunch of PS2 stuff. Some more PS2 stuff in the front, and then some more 360 stuff over here. Then once you get down here, this is when you're getting into the PS4 collection. Small But Mighty PS4 collection. I've got all my PlayStation portable handhelds. I've got obviously the PSP. This is not the original one. This is I think the 2000. They said this was the best one to get. I think it was the 2000. I've got the OLED Vita, as well as the regular Vita, the original Vita as well. So, and then just more PS4 stuff. And then down here, more special edition Switch stuff. I do have the special edition Hunt Down. Hunt Down is one of my favorite modern games. And then just some more common PS3 stuff. And then way down in the back there, if you can see, this is where the PSP collection lies. So as you can see, Small But Mighty, just a eclectic collection. I'm not a completionist. I don't try to complete anything. I just try to have the stuff that I want to have. Nothing beats a well-tailored and well-curated collection of the stuff that you want to have. And so that's what does it for me. So again, happy belated National Video Game Day. Hopefully you found one of your favorite games and got a chance to play them and enjoy them. Oh wait, I'm forgetting a small section. Wait, there is a small section. There is a small section of games that I totally forgot. This is where the actual gameplay setup is. And so I've got a few systems here. I've actually got Sega Genesis, PS2, my Xbox there, my N64 there, SNES Junior there, and then here's where I've got the Neo Geo, SNES, Sega Saturn, PS3 stuff as well. So you know, a Small But Mighty setup. The room is set up for fun. And again, hopefully you saw something in the collection that maybe you might want to add. If you saw a game that stood out to you, let me know down in the comments. If there's any games that you think I should add, let me know down in the comments. It's the Y2K Collector. Hopefully you're having a great week. Take it easy.